Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on which time zone you are, or if you are watching this show now live or then recorded. Nice to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, that thing that scares some of us and others. They get so enthusiastic. So today, we're going to talk about this. Keep in touch because we'll be back in a moment. Hello. Here I am again. So tonight we're gonna talk about artificial intelligence. This thing that some of us are very scared about it. What could it bring to the market? I'm going to get fired because of them. Or okay, let's face the robots and everything. But maybe there's something more, something else, something nicer. I have here Jerry. He's on the basement. I don't know if he's watching the football game or something, or eating the cookies. Okay, I'm gonna bring him to the screen. Okay, there you are. Hello, how are you?
Hey, hey, good. Thanks, Marco. Thanks for having me on. Honor to be here.
First of all, many thanks to being here in my show. It's a pleasure to have you here. Mostly because we're gonna talk about hot issue on the marketing world and even the mainstream world, which is artificial intelligence. Thank you. First of all, I want please that you introduce yourself and then let's go to our conversation. Everyone who's watching us, please, and have some questions, some doubts, please let us know so I can bring them to the screen and have them answered by Jerry.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, thanks, Marco. So a little bit about me. My name is Jerry Abiod, and I am the co-founder and CMO of Standard Insights. And what Standard Insights is, we're a AI as a service growth marketing platform that helps businesses do two things. Number one, we help them execute data-driven omni-channel campaigns. And number two, we empower them to monetize their data to find lookalike customers on Facebook. And Marco, why do we do this? I get that question all the time. But we help businesses target the right person with the right product and service at the right time to drive both top and bottom line growth. And in a nutshell, we help your business become more competitive in today's data-driven world. And especially, today with the global upheaval of the coronavirus, it's never been more important to stand apart from your competitors to win.
Absolutely. Let me put me on the screen again. Here I am. So, Jerry, there's one thing I want to know. How does it started? Because I think you were on a coffee table talking with your partners in crime.
Yeah.
Let's start a company. About what? Let us sell hot
Yeah.
dogs.
So yeah, yeah. It was actually Standard Insights started from a failure. I was actually working with another startup. This was 4 years ago. It was another startup dealing with artificial intelligence and machine learning. And what happened at that time, I had my own consulting business helping small software companies with sales and marketing initiatives. And the biggest thing I learned from that was from a failure. And I was working with one of my clients during AI-driven machine learning startup. And what happened was two reasons. I guess it failed for a variety of reasons. But the one main thing I learned at that time 4 years ago was, at that time, not too many people knew about AI and machine learning. But one thing was clear. Number one, that if a company was to implement, any type of technology, it had to be simple and easy to use. And number two, there was something bubbling beneath the surface with regard to artificial intelligence based applications. And now, this was 4 or 5 years later, we know that AI is poised to make a big impact. In 4 or 5 years, some studies indicate that it could be a $400 billion industry. And during that time when this company, my client, was imploding through serendipitous events, I met my future co-founder. He was visiting Atlanta from India. He used to live in Atlanta. He used to work for a Fortune 50 company as a technological architect. And he presented me this idea, this prototype that he had. It was an AI as a service platform that enabled businesses to keep in touch with their customers, omni-channel, data-driven, using explainable AI. So learning what I learned from the failure I'd come from, I thought, hey, this was a good idea. It seemed like it was a simple concept that the average person can use. And I flew from Atlanta to Colorado to an outdoor retail show. And I returned to Atlanta a week later, and we had a handful, 2 beta or trial customers, if you will. So there, Standard Insights was born. We rounded out our team with 2 other co-founders. We came up with the name Standard Insights, and the meaning behind that is we strive to be the global standard on how successful businesses prioritize and execute their remarketing protocols from insights driven from their data. So that's where all that started. It started about 2 years ago. It's somewhat of a bumpy ride, but we've been on a upward trajectory ever since as a self-funded startup.
Amazing. that's because I think for most of people, artificial AI is still being something spooky and weird. It's gonna take my job.
Yeah. It is. Sometimes it gets portrayed in negative light, and nothing is ever perfect in this world we live in. But for the most part, artificial intelligence is here to help your company out, whether it's in sales or marketing, or where it's what we're experiencing right now with the coronavirus, being to identify and see trends and determine the next best course of action.
Absolutely, because
so AI is very helpful among a lot of different industries.
There's one thing for me because on October I've been in a chat. We were at the Kefil table, and we were talking about AI and for on cars. And an engineer,
right,
which were there, told us that the challenge is, for instance, there's a self-driven car goes on the street, and then there's some obstacle that comes up, and the artificial intelligence should choose which obstacle to turn or something, and there's a kind of a protocol. You should, you should tell the artificial intelligence which way it should go, right?
Right or left, right or straight through. You hit the object, right?
Yeah. But you should build the algorithm so the artificial intelligence should work, right?
Right.
In this case, when we are talking about predictions about finding customers lookalike and something, how do you tell the AI, look for them?
Yeah, so very simple. We're analyzing patterns, right? We're analyzing patterns. So you're over there in Portugal. I'm here stateside in Atlanta. So what AI will look at the trends, the demographics, the purchase patterns, if you will. So if we're looking at a clothing company, a worldwide e-commerce clothing company, and we can identify that, hey, customers in Atlanta, Georgia tend to buy red shirts, and customers in Portugal tend to buy, green shirts. So now you can target accordingly, more prudent with your marketing and budget dollars. And this comes into play if you've got lots of customers, whether it's 200, 2,000, 200,000, or even 2 million customers. You identify, if I give you a spreadsheet with 200,000 customers, and I say, hey, Marco, please identify the top selling products in each city, state, or country with a company that has 100 different products selling online. So that's where AI can pull, identify trends, and not only identify trends, but act on those trends, execute marketing campaigns based on the findings. So now we find that people in Atlanta, for this company that has 100 different products, people in Atlanta tend to buy red shirts, people in Portugal tend to buy green shirts, and then now you target accordingly.
I mean, because I always praised about the importance of focusing in marketing segments. By these days, it's even more narrowed, the thing. I mean, we are focusing on buyer personas. How do you recommend people to target the market? Because there's some business owners think, oh, if I target my market, I have to say that some people won't be my clients. Oh my God, I couldn't make it. That's one problem, right?
Yeah. So the first thing you have to do before you do any marketing program or marketing campaign, you have to know your customers. And what do I mean by knowing your customers? You have to categorize them on their potential profitability. So if you have 100,000 customers, not all 100,000 customers are the same. You have, I know we talked about this in the past, the Pareto principle, right? The 80-20 rule. So not all 100,000 customers will be the same. Maybe the top 20-25% will be your champion customers, your loyal customers, your potential loyal customers, and all the way down to the bottom, you may have your sleeping customers. They may have purchased from you a few times 3-4 years ago. And yeah, you're right. Maybe you don't want to, keep in touch. Or if you do keep in touch, it's important to keep in touch with all customers. But maybe you don't have to spend a lot of money keeping in touch with them, right? Because email and text costs money. And now you want to focus on your top tier customers, your champion, your tier 1 customers. Those are customers that will drive and help your company grow.
Absolutely. But for instance, let me think about the flow of working. Your artificial intelligence looks, for instance, in a CRM, the data.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Then, for instance, they tell you, okay, this kind of customer will buy more if you show it more. This,
correct.
Not so much. Then, okay, let's impact those customers. And then they will look,
absolutely. Yeah.
They will look for some like them to impact also. Can you?
Correct. So finding lookalike customers, yeah.
Can you explain better this process? Because I love to talk about processes.
Yeah. So basically, you've got data. There's gobs of data available nowadays, or online behavior, the apps we use on our phone, and then you have, on the other hand, our machine, if you will, that has a bunch of different algorithms, and we bridge the gap together two ways: an API connector or an old-fashioned CSV file. We take that, we analyze the information. Out in the other end comes the predictions of what's going to happen, and then you act on those predictions. So what we do to find lookalike customers, I know we chatted about this before, to find lookalike customers on Facebook, is what we call data monetization, right? So you really, as a business owner, you've got to take ownership of your data, and by taking ownership, you really have to know what your data is saying. Who are your top customers? Who are your mid-tier customers? Who are your bottom tier customers, your sleeping customers, and what can you do to move them up the food chain, the value chain. And yeah, as a business owner, you really have to know who and what your customers are, how they're acting, because if you don't, someone else will, and they're going to get your customers, and bye-bye customers. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, for instance, today I have a customer's base. I have some data.
Correct.
And I call you, Jerry. Look, I want you to help me because I'm struggling here because, for instance, the lifetime value of the customer is short.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to understand why so many clients just, for instance, just make a couple of buys, nothing more. They bought me 2 times. And how do I look? Where should I look for more customers? What will you say to me?
So if you're looking for more customers, so we would identify those gaps and identify what that customer is purchasing, and then take that framework, that your custom audience, and now we know the data, right? With finding the different parameters of your customized audience, and then we can apply that information in regards to Facebook, right? A lot of people are advertising on Facebook. That's how a lot of people are getting new customers. So now you know the information on your customers, and now you can create these customized audiences based on facts instead of guessing.
Amazing. Because there's one thing for me, and that I think it's a common mistake business owners make. It's to, even though they are working on Facebook, they target a really wide audience. I mean, for instance,
age, yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head, and why Standard Insights in business. Because you can talk to other digital marketers, and they say, okay, yes, I create customized audience. We create customized audiences, and yes, we're letting you know that Facebook allows you to create customized audience. But there's a couple things. Facebook doesn't care how well your campaigns are doing. Facebook just wants your money, right? So okay, you want to create customized audiences. And I go, okay, even for a small company, okay, here you go. Here's 2,000 customers on a spreadsheet. All the data is correct, and you're selling 50 products. Identify what each one of those 2,000 customers are likely to buy, and then please create a customized audience for me. Identify what each person's likely to buy. Identify their, through micro-segmentation, their geographic, demographic, psychographic characteristics. 2,000 customers, here's a spreadsheet, all the data is correct. You have half an hour. And they're just guessing. Well, we just, this is what the owner told us, the top selling products. And when you're doing that, it's just guessing, and it's not based on facts. It's not based on science. And that's what they mean, the term data-driven marketing. Is you're executing campaigns based on past data.
Yeah, there's one.
And you're absolutely right. Yeah.
There's another thing about it, because when you have a business, you also should make some predictions about for who you're selling. What are you gonna sell, for instance?
Correct.
Predict your production or your buys or something to
Correct.
know which people you should partner to be your providers and these kinds of stuff. So
you're absolutely right. It's predictive and prescriptive analytics. That's what AI can help you out. Most people, they're stuck in the descriptive analytics phase. And that's, you might as well be using a flip phone if you want. So descriptive, what happened in the past, they're not using predictive and prescriptive analytics to help them grow. And you're 110% right about that. You have to know and anticipate, what's happening in the future.
Yeah, because that's the thing. For instance, if you know more accurately what could happen, you can take
Right.
decisions more based on what will gonna happen.
Yeah, did you know that there was I know we're talking about AI with regards to sales and marketing, but did you know that there was an AI software company called Blue Dot that identified the outbreak in Wuhan, right, on December 31st after the first cases were diagnosed by the authorities, right? So think about that. This was identified. Most of the world, most people knew about this, last 3 weeks before they started taking it seriously. It was identified long before that, right around the holidays. And if you had that information, knowing what we know now, do you think if we took it seriously back then, that we wouldn't be where we are now?
Yeah, that's. I think that the problem most of the times is it's we are a little bit scared if to don't
Yeah,
not to tell too much scared about changing, about new things coming to the table, about technology where
yeah,
threat is threatening us or something, and most of the times we don't believe in new things. We rather trust in the old things, and
yep,
that's it.
yep. But relying on old things and not open to learning new things, that could hurt, right? That could hurt your business. And in a more serious case, what's happening right now, it could hurt people, health wise, if they're not paying attention. But you're absolutely right. Yeah, just human nature that we want to stick with what we know. And if we're sticking what we know is old technologies, then so be it. But the people that are going to win and survive and thrive were the people that are more progressive, that are open to new technologies and new ways of doing things.
And the point is, in my point of view, it's that in each case, in each thing, the use of the things, it's what will make it improve. So
Correct.
if you start today using AI, you will get better results fastly. and
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think there are 5 key things if you're using an AI-driven platform to help grow your business. And what could it help you out today within the next 3 months if you started doing something today and were consistent, just like an exercise program or a modified diet? Number one, it's going to help your company become more competitive. Number two, it will help increase your average order value. Number three, customer retention. We talked about that before the podcast started, the old 80-20 rule. 4, it'll help drive both top and bottom line growth. By top line growth, obviously more sales. Bottom line growth, it's going to improve efficiencies with triggered automation. And number 5, data monetization. You're studying your data and enabling you, hey, you worked hard to get that data, to get those customers. Now you can monetize that, analyze and find new customers, lookalike customers on Facebook, becoming more scientific. But yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that, those 5 things can help your business out today and in the future.
Absolutely. Well, it came to my mind something that is really important, and I think even today businesses are missing this, which is cross up and down selling. And
Yep.
by saying this, you can look. Okay, let's see if the customer A usually buy this, and this, and the customer B is like the customer A. Let's present him
Correct.
also the same things. And for instance, if a customer used to buy this product and this one together, let's put this to the other customers like them. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you're 110% right. Actually, before I got on the podcast, we're working with a client. They engaged us to help them drive more sales. And what we're doing right now, so they sell worldwide, but mainly in the States. So we're able to identify the top selling products in each state. So we're sending them an email, on that. And then if that person, so this email went out today and they buy today, 7 days later, and this is all automated, right? So now we're going to automation. We're helping improve processes and procedures. In 7 days, if you buy today, so you get the product 3, 4, 5 days. Day 7, Marco's going to get an email. Hey, Marco, thanks for your purchase. We appreciate you as a valued customer. Here are other products that you may like. Boom, it's automated. So Mark goes, oh, hey, I like the product. I've been using it for a couple days. Why not? And he looks at his email. It could be email, text, or Facebook Messenger, or WhatsApp. Now you're getting, so what's the old saying? Out of sight, out of mind. This customer, with the help of AI, is staying in front of Marco and presenting relevant products to Marco that he's likely to buy, not because they made it up, but by analyzing similar behavior patterns that fit, Marco, right? And that is it. So they're just analyzing, okay, Marco looks like these past customers. And this is the same thing that Amazon and Netflix are doing. But that's Amazon, that's Netflix. Now we're able to, with the democratization of AI, it's being made available to the small, mid-size, or Fortune 1000 companies. And now with it being an AI as a service, it's pretty, relatively simple to set up and run an analysis and execute campaigns based on the findings.
Absolutely, because there's one thing Gary Vaynerchuk told once that marketing people used to ruin the means. The media. If television is working, the marketing guys went there and they ruin, and that's it. Yeah. And I'm thinking, for instance, Jerry, on email marketing. What is the laziest thing to do? Okay, you have 300 or 3,000 contacts there, then you just send the same email. It doesn't
same
matter.
Message. Yeah, that's the.
Some will buy.
Yeah, some will buy. Yeah, they call that spraying just one giant blast, right? It's not only I want to say that's irresponsible marketing, right? Absolutely. You're just sending everyone to the same email. That's irresponsible marketing. That's irresponsible to your customers, and it's irresponsible to your budget dollars. That's
Yeah. I'm looking for a book. I don't know if I showed you the other time we talked, which is 820 on marketing and sales. I think it's Perry Marshall, the author of the book. And he told me about something that for me, I was looking for the concept some years ago, because I always believe on that, which is the kind of the boring factor, the annoying factor. When you send the same message to so many different people, many different kinds of customers, and the problem is it works with one, and you say, "Oh, I'm so smart. Look, I'm so clever because I sold one," but you forget every customers you lose because of that.
Yeah.
And today, you by all of the people who are watching us, have a tool which can say to you, look, you can send this message to these people because you know that this kind of people used to buy this, and this. And
right. You and I, we could, we're different. We're different people. And so there's Marco, there's Jerry. We've got different behavior patterns. And now a digital marketer can send emails, texts, or even Facebook, whatever communication on products that Marco's likely to purchase or Jerry's likely to purchase. And when you do that, your chances for keeping and closing that sale go up tremendously.
Yeah, and there's another point, because I think usually the paradigm lays in two very opposite kinds of people. There, those who are very salesy, they like to sell all the time, everything to all people, and those who are very frightened because, oh, I don't want to bother you selling this. Oh, no. Let me wait for you to ask me. And there's this thing I think we should came with this idea. If you are helping with some other product or serving which will help your customer, go and share it with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And those always have to be the balance, right? You don't want to send the same message to everyone, and then, there's a balance. You don't want to keep on, bothering your customers with emails or texts, right? So you have to know their balance, and with knowing that balance, you also have to know what products are likely, to purchase, and tailor your service offerings accordingly, from your tier 1 customers or your bottom tier, right? Not everyone's treated the same.
Yeah, because I see this. For instance, if you are your business is based on seasons, if you know that in this season you should sell this, or in the next season, for instance, you sell garden things for gardens, and in the winter you should sell this. On spring, this. On summer, this.
Right.
Your artificial intelligence will help you segmenting and creating audiences to give them the right message in the right time, so they could also.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if the business, and it's always an evolving process, right? The algorithms is constantly learning, and the more data you feed the machine, the better the predictions will, the better predictions that you'll have.
Yeah, that's. I'm so enthusiastic. I love because there's one thing for me, Jerry. It's important. It's marketing for me. It's helping people to be
Correct.
happier. So if you have tools which help you as a business to give the best products at the best time, at the best price, and then your customer gets the best product at the best time, at the best price, and they understand, okay, this is perfect for me, it's helping me, it's avoiding me problems, it's avoiding me to spend too much money, it's avoiding me to have to look at the problems. I think it's a win-win, and that's, I think the old paradigm was that marketing was intrusive, it was boring, it was about selling you things that you don't need, and the very next day you will be regretting the body made. That's it. And it really pisses me off when people says to me the marketing is bad. But I think it's nonsense not to take advantage of these tools which are doing the right work for you.
Yes, exactly. And nowadays there's a lot of data everywhere, and the saying time is money. And if you're not properly engaging with your customer, you could lose that customer, right? Businesses nowadays, they want two things. Number one, new business, drive new customers. Number two is keep their customers. There's a lot of competition in this global economy, that we have. And you as a business spend a lot of money bringing that new customer to your front door or to your website. And when they buy, don't lose them, the next time, right? And if you're looking at sunglasses, we've got a client that sells sunglasses. The average life cycle of a pair of sunglasses is 6 months. They get lost, stolen, they get scratched. T-shirts, clothing doesn't last forever. So you always have to keep in front of your customer in relevant ways for them to keep on buying from you.
Yeah, and it also gives you some ideas about the next product you should work on, right?
Yep, exactly.
Because there's one thing for me that it's also nonsense, which is you have the ID department, which works on
Hmm.
a cave, I don't know where. They are there
Right,
working in a new product for 2 years, and then they
right.
come with the new product, and nobody wants it.
Yeah, that's happened. Yeah, yeah,
And I think with your approach, you could be more accurate on finding, on determine, saying this is the right product for your customer, right?
yeah. So if I'm a company, I'm developing, I don't know what sports you like, developing a product, and based on research, right, predictive analytics, market would like this new product that we're developing. So you, as a business owner, you're not developing a product that's just going to go to waste.
Because it's a problem. There's things for me that I don't understand. For instance, the idea. Look, you have to come up with a $1 million idea, and then you win the world. And my
Yeah,
experience, it's that idea is one of the less important things when you're starting, because I don't know
yeah,
about you, but maybe you can share, please, your experience.
yeah. Just take baby steps, right? What's the saying? Crawl, walk, run, or another saying is how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? For us, when we first started our journey 2 years ago, and we were talking to small companies or companies that would just hear us out and talk to us, and we were talking to very small companies. But as we gained more experience and got more clients, the bigger, the companies that we're talking to became. We started off in e-commerce. We went to brick and mortar. Now we're looking at finance companies have been reaching out to us. And just a couple of weeks ago, we were talking to a CMO of $1 billion plus organization. Now, if you asked me that 2 years ago, I go, no way, that's going to happen. But it just is a snowballing effect, right? So, my advice to if you're a small to mid-sized business owner, take things one step at a time. You don't have to do everything today. Just analyze a piece of data, and then prioritize and execute. Just one small piece.
Great. It's so good.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this because that's the point. You should. Um, I do the same when I'm talking about for instance live streaming. People start asking me about lights, cameras, and slow down. You can start on your mobile phone,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
it. And that's it. So, tell me, which could we what new things you're about to bring to the market? What do you think it will be AI the next times? How could it help the business owners, the customers also, which is important for me also to think about customers and not just the business thing.
Right. So we're AI. We're at the nascent stage right now, and especially with what's happening right now, the global pandemic, the coronavirus, and especially if you're a business, it's an online business. This is a perfect time with the whole world going crazy to take a look at new technologies that can help you out. Because what we're experiencing right now, this global pandemic, will pass. It's only a temporary thing. Yeah, I know everyone's scared and everything's been put into upheaval. But those businesses that take a look and really study themselves and take a look at this downtime, this crazy time, as an opportunity, and that opportunity, like exploring other technologies, will win and will be more competitive than others who are just hiding and crying in their milk.
That's another problem. Complain about everything. Oh my God.
Complaining about everything. Yeah, I'm going to fight you on Facebook, right? Instead of looking inwardly to improve themselves and their business processes, those are the companies that are going to win once we get out of this mess that we're in right now.
So, good point. You talk about Facebook, complaining about Facebook and demonizing Facebook. How many customers you had lately, for instance, that you came up with your service and you asked them,
Right.
"Oh, are you advertising on Facebook?" And they told you, "Oh my God, don't talk me about Facebook. It's oh my God, it doesn't work." And then after some work with you, things change.
Yeah, things change, right? And you have to be able to take that step. I think when we first got introduced, that was my first interview I did live. And between you and whoever's listening, I was a little bit nervous. And I think you and I talked about it. If I'm in front of you talking and we're having a beer, no problem. But once you say, "Hey, Jerry, I'm recording you," I'm like, "Oh, I get
Don't
tensed
think
up."
about
And
it. It's the same. So forget the recording.
and yeah, and so what was that? 2.5, 3 weeks ago that we first met virtually. This will be my 6th interview, right? LinkedIn Live, podcast. So over time, you get used, you learn, and it's the same thing with technology. Yeah, you may be a little tentative, you may be a little apprehensive. I was when I first got interviewed, but over time you learn and you adapt and you study. Like, hey, I know that when I'm being interviewed live, this is what the host may ask. But it's all about a learning process and getting better each day. But you have to take that first step. Like, yeah, this could, possibly. I mean, it's like if a doctor tells you, "Hey, Marco, you need to exercise and eat a healthy diet." You're like, "Okay, I don't know, I don't want to. This is fine what I'm doing." But over time, it's better, right? It doesn't happen tomorrow. Just because you start exercising, eating vegetables, does not mean it's going. Tomorrow's Tuesday. It's gonna all of a sudden poof. It takes time to work at it.
Yeah.
And we know now that if you have a good foundation, and I hate to bring it back up, but this is the coronavirus. Yes, we know it's affecting all people. Yes, it's affecting everyone. But chances are, if you're living a healthy lifestyle and have a good immune system, chances are you'll be able to weather the storm than someone else who isn't. So that same principle applies here. If you're willing to take a look at new technologies that could help you, not only help you as a business, but help your customers, everyone wins. For example, in Facebook, they're doing a lot of things right now just because of what happened with their data breaches. They're slowly pulling back on the third-party cookies, and their ad prices are going way up. But yet they're continuing to make a lot of money. They don't care about Marco that he ran an ad for his company and it didn't do well. They don't care about that. They just kept, "Hey, we're Facebook, we're here, we're the biggest ad platform on the planet." So what do? As a business owner, it's getting expensive. They're pulling back on cookies. I can't get as much information. You have the information sitting in front of you, your past customers. You just have to look and analyze what your past customers are doing. And then from there, once you know that, you can prioritize and execute data-driven campaigns. They'll give you a better shot at converting.
Okay, perfect. There's a problem about LinkedIn, which the comments don't come up when they are made. They just... Hello, Sebastian. Thank you. We have 2 comments from Sebastian. Facebook is a perfect example how AI is royally screwed up and actually oppresses free speeches, human expression and sentiments, and has no clue that this is silencing the innocent. Okay, I think they have a very strict, sometimes even crazy AI.
And you're right. So now Facebook is in control, right? That's Facebook controlling the narrative. You have to control the narrative by looking into your data and seeing what your data says. But yeah.
But without forgetting, customer is human and has sentiments and emotion and cultural values. That's it. Because, for instance, I will a short example here on my country. The people from the north, it's where I live. We used to use that naughty words or something. It's normal. People used to say, those from the south, that we use that naughty words like punctuation, like they are commas or final dots. If we go to Facebook and write down these words, we may be banned or something. So it's important because sometimes I think Facebook, it's too blind about these kinds of cultural things and so on. So maybe, but that's the point. If you are at someone else's home, you should act like they want you to act.
Correct.
So I don't think that's too much to do about it. So one thing I'd ask you was about, and I think your company fits perfectly about this, is the challenge we are facing today, or in the next weeks or maybe months. It's about changing the paradigm of working, of learning, of everything. How do you manage? Because I know that you are spread all over the world, or kind of, you and your partners. Which tools do you use? How do you manage the distance, which today they are not so distant because we have tools which can help us?
Yeah, we manage it with technology, right? Without technology, none of this would be possible. We're speaking on LinkedIn Live, right now, but just being open to, technology to help, right? Technology can help companies grow and reach people that, wouldn't have been possible, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Absolutely. Well, and talking about technology and talking about Standard Insights, I think it's possible for those who are watching us. Let me see if it's working. I'm gonna put the link for those who are watching us. If you want to talk with Jerry about Standard Insights, let me put it on the screen. Okay, I think that's the link.
And then Marco, before I forget, I know we chatted about this earlier, to thank everyone and to thank you for having me on the show. We want to give everyone a 10% discount. All they have to do when they reach out to me is mention Marco or Marco10, and we'll give them a 10% discount off the subscription.
Which, for instance, people who follow this link and schedule a meeting with you, so it's easy for them to frame and to shortcut the things. What they will talk about with you, what kind of information they should have before starting the conversation?
Yeah, so I just want to know what their challenges they're facing with remarketing to their existing client base. It'll just be a discovery call. If that's something they want to pursue after the discovery call, we'll make that happen. But it'll just be a nice, friendly chat about what's going on and maybe the challenges that they're facing.
Perfect. I think that the link will be crawling down so you can see it. Jerry, I used to ask at the end of my shows 4 suggestions to my guests. Shout out a professional that you think it would be nice for people who are watching us to follow, a book, a tool, and a habit.
All right. So what was the first one?
The professional. Shout out.
A shout out to Jim Fuse, Fusion Marketing. That's where we met. He was the first person to get me started on these LinkedIn Live podcasts. Now I've done 6. So yeah, shout out to Jim.
Okay, perfect. I will please tag him on the comment so he knows that
Yeah,
you made a shout out.
yeah, yeah. Tag him for yeah. So because I'm on my phone. And what was the second question?
The book, a book.
Yeah. So I'm right by my bookcase right here. So let me pull one out real quick. Give me 1 second. Here, can you see this? Extreme Ownership by Navy SEAL Jocko Willink, Lead and Win.
Okay. Can you tell a little bit of what it's all about?
Yeah, so basically it's a leadership book,
Okay.
right? And, leadership applies at all levels, right? Top down and bottom up. And if you have good leadership within your company, the better your company will thrive and succeed.
Perfect. Now a tool or a habit?
Habit, wake up early every day and get after it. And for me, it always starts with gratitude and exercise
Perfect.
before the day starts.
Perfect. And a tool?
Tool, for me, it's WhatsApp. I'm able to communicate with people directly on an international basis for free, I may add, right? WhatsApp. And soon, WhatsApp is opening the marketing channels, so now you can reach out to potential customers via WhatsApp.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amazing tool. Yeah, and it's free.
And it's free. That's the best part.
Even though we pay it somehow.
Yeah. Nothing's ever free, right? So, as the saying goes.
Well, Jerry, we came to the end. Thank you very much. I don't know if you want to give us some wrap up about this conversation, maybe it will be okay.
Yeah. So, hey, thanks everyone for listening. But my suggestion is, hey, don't be afraid to try out different technologies that you're not used to. It could make a difference. Could possibly help your business survive and thrive in this crazy world we live in.
Yeah, I think one of the things I was thinking about is that this AI information or helping could bring the marketing one to one more effective because
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right.
We have here an expression which is something like it's the oh my god, the usual. When you go, for instance, to the barber shop or to the coffee, they used to ask you, it's the usual.
Yeah.
Because they know you good. They know how your habits.
Right.
So AI, it's about this.
Yeah, but so with the barber shop, they know you, they see you, you come in there every however many weeks. But think about this: if you're a global business or an online business,
that's the point. Absolutely.
you got 2,000, 200,000, 2 million customers. You want to be able to provide that barbershop experience to each and every one of those customers, period. And that's what it's all about, that barbershop experience. Give you that hand-holding, hey, Marco, what's going on? It's like, I know football is popular over there, right? So your favorite team, your favorite player, right? So it's basically that barbershop experience, and even though they don't know you, right? But you have to provide that high level of customer experience. Otherwise, if you don't, someone else will, and you're going to lose that business.
Absolutely. Well, Jerry, thank you. Hope to see you again soon on my show.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for all of you who are watching. Please stay tuned because these next days, next weeks, I'll be making shows really often because there's a need about because of this coronavirus thing, about sharing tools, sharing experience, expertise, tips to overcome this challenge. So stay tuned, and if you have some suggestions, if you want to be my guest, please let me know on comments, DM me. Don't be scared, don't be afraid, because I'm here to you. Okay, so bye bye. Wish you a good evening.
Bye bye.
Good afternoon. Bye bye.